the guitar and what it's modeled after?
We're doing that again? Okay. The guitar is an Augustino guitar. It's modeled after a 1930s Gibson guitar.
All right. Actually, I wasn't recording the first time. Do you want to go through your spiel again?
Yeah, I'd like to point out to you that Clint Eastwood records all rehearsals and uses probably 70 or 80% of them.
Well, that was just a oversight on my part. So hit it.
Good morning, Mr. Thompson. May I call you Hunter? Thanks. The guitar is an Augustino guitar. Clearwater is famous for two things: the Augustino guitars, which are manufactured here, and of course, the Hooters franchise, girls in short shorts selling chicken and beer. This particular model was made by Mr. Augustino, affectionately known by his followers as Augie, and his daughter. Ms. Augustino and Augie both signed the inside of my guitar. It's a 6-string guitar called a Dreadnought. Has a wonderful sound. Now, there was a little defect in the original 1930s model Gibson guitar, which was copied in the modeling by Augustino. And a luthier, by the way, a luthier is a person who makes lutes or repairs guitars and lutes. A luthier in Crystal Beach has repaired this guitar.
Okay, just say that again. We can edit around you. So a luthier in Safety Harbor.
Mr. Jarosky, a luthier, which is another fancy word for guitar maker, in Safety Harbor. Mr. Jarosky has worked around the defect, and now the guitar plays perfectly. The current market value for the guitar is $1,000.
Cool. How did you come by this guitar?
I was doing some work for a roofer by the name of Stan Kosharsky, who some 20 or 30 years ago painted a home for Mr. Augustino. This guitar and 2 others was payment for the painting.
Okay. So
I acquired the guitar from Stan Kosharsky, a painter who had painted Mr. Augustino's house in exchange for a number of guitars.
yeah. All right. And what are the characteristics of a guitar like? What's a Dreadnought guitar and what's it good for?
This guitar is a Dreadnought guitar. That means it has a big box, which gives it a nice volume for playing acoustically. Of course, I mic the guitar if I'm playing out for a big crowd. But sometimes the electricity goes off and you can just play acoustically and the show goes on. It's a 6-string guitar. It's good for playing jazz, folk music, classical music, pretty much any gig.
Good. And tell me again what it's, so it's like a copy of a Gibson?
This particular Augustino guitar is a copy of a Gibson guitar from the 1920s.
And let's see, is there anything else you'd like to tell us about this guitar or your guitar playing or anything you'd like to say to Mr. Thompson, anything of that sort?
Okay. Mr. Thompson, I certainly enjoyed your book on LSD in Los Angeles, Las Vegas. Mr. Thompson, I read your work in Rolling Stone magazine. I understand you're still on the staff there, but you haven't been writing anything, and I'd like to encourage you to get back to work. This particular Augustino guitar was inspired by a 1929 Gibson.
All right. What's your favorite songs to play on it?
When I play the Augustino, I'll play any number of Jimmy Buffett songs, Margaritaville, changes in latitude, changes in attitude. The one about fins, Jamaica Farewell, and a piece that I wrote called He Was Saved by the Prick of the Picador.
Okay. All right. Did you write any songs in Spanish, any original ones?
Yes, written a song based on an old Cuban rumba melody with original Spanish words called Mama Inés.
Okay. Let's see. So how do you go about miking an acoustic guitar?
Well, for miking my acoustic guitar, I use a high-quality Shure microphone that has a heart-shaped pickup in the front, great for picking up instrumental sounds.
Okay. All right. Well, I think we have enough stuff to... All right.
Yes, Hunter, sometimes I do tell jokes on the bandstand. Well, okay. A blind man walks into a woman's biker bar, feels his way to a bar stool, sits down, orders a cup of coffee. Bartender goes to get the coffee, and he says, "Hey, you want to hear a blonde joke?" The whole bar goes dead quiet. Bartender turns to him and says, "Sir, seeing as how you're a blind man, there's a few things you ought to know. Number one, I'm a blonde. I got a baseball bat. Two ladies you're sitting between, they're professional wrestlers and they're blondes. Two ladies down the end of the bar, they're blondes and they're packing heat. Are you sure you want to tell that blonde joke in here?" Guy just says, "No, not if I got to explain it 5 times. A wind is in the heart of me, fire's in my heels. I'm tired of brick and stone and rum.
Recording, go ahead and do the Super Tiny Down South riff.
spurs in my heel. I'm tired of brick and stone and rumbling wagon wheels. I hunger for the sea's edge, the limits of the land, where the wild old Atlantic is shouting at the sand. Sing a song, a wonder song.